stampers, it's Kim Vogel with the Basement Bunch Stampers. Today I'm going to show you a technique that is called the faux quilting technique. Isn't that absolutely stunning? I'm going to bring it in a little bit closer so you can see the detail on that. It looks like it was quilted, but it's not, and I'm going to show you exactly how I did that. This card is actually going to be a card for my mother-in-law. She does all of my cutting for my clubs, and I wanted to give her a card that she hasn't seen, for one, and something special to kind of let her know that she truly is appreciated for all that she does for me. So I think it's going to be a big hit. I know she's going to love it, and I had a lot of fun making this card as well. So I'm really going to be focusing on, in this video, the technique of how I did this background. So let's go ahead and get started. So the mat, or the base of the card, is a piece of cardstock that is cut 5.5 by 8.5. I scored it at 4 1/4, and I folded that in half, and that is the base for the card. And then my first mat is a piece of the silver glimmer paper, and this is cut to 5 1/4 by 4. And you're going to see that I've already cut out a dragonfly. This dragonfly comes from the Framelits called Detailed Dragonfly Thinlits, and you get all these different sizes. These are the two that I used for my card today. But you also get all of these other pieces, and it comes with a butterfly, or I'm sorry, a bumblebee, and some little mini dragonflies and a bigger dragonfly. Really, really awesome. That's in the Occasions catalog that ends the end of May. But these are the two that I used, so I wanted to show you those two. And what I did is I actually cut this out of the center of the mat, and the reason I did that is that once I add the mat to this piece of cardstock, you're not going to even be able to see that I did that. So it's a good use of the middle of that piece of foil sheet. And one of my subscribers actually commented on a previous video that I did, and I forgot that technique. So thank you so much. I always appreciate feedback like that. That's going to help me remember things that I've forgotten to share with all of you. So what I'm going to do now is show you how I did this technique right here. And this is actually, I was inspired by Dawn Griffith. She did a video on this not too long ago, and I fell in love with it and had to try it myself, and I absolutely love it. So let me bring in my Stampin' trimmer, because we will need the Stampin' trimmer. And this piece is a mat that is cut 5 by 3 3/4. And I actually accidentally cut mine a little bit too big. So bear with me while I trim off 1/4 inch on each side. Okay, so I'm going to get my cutting blade out of the way, because I don't need my cutting blade and I don't want to accidentally cut. So what I did is I lined up the point on a diagonal, point to point. I lined those up with the place where this is going to cut, or in this case score. You can see this groove right here. That is where I lined up the tip to tip on. And I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to score right there, okay? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this over, so you'll see this line right here, to the 3/4 inch mark. Again, tip for tip, otherwise it's not going to work. So I have it at the 3/4 inch mark at the top, and down here at the bottom as well. I'm not sure if you can see that very good, but it's there. And I'm going to go ahead and score again. And then I'm going to keep on doing that. I'm going to move over again to the 3/4 inch line, lining up this last score line that I just did, and I'm going to score again, and then I'm going to move that one down. So you kind of get the idea of how I'm doing this. So I did that on that side. Now I'm going to turn this over, and I'm going to take that first one that I did and line that up on the 3/4 inch mark. Again, I'm up here, down here, score. I'm going to move that over and score, and once again, and I'll have this first way done. Make sure you take the time. I almost made a mistake there. Make sure you take the time to get that just right, otherwise your score lines are going to be off. Okay, so I have it all done that way. You see those score lines in there? So now I'm going to go ahead and do it the opposite way. I'm going to put it in this corner to that corner. Again, lining it right up. Oops, it moved a little, so now I gotta make sure I get it back in there. Score. Moving it over to the 3/4 inch. Scoring it again. I encourage you, while I do this, I encourage you to write down my website, kimsbasementbunch.com, and I encourage you to sign up to receive my emails. You never ever miss a video again. I do a Terrific Tuesday video every single Tuesday, and I always give away something, so it's your chance to win by commenting on my video. So I encourage you to subscribe and also to sign up to receive those emails. So now I'm going to go ahead and turn this, same thing I did last time. I'm lining it up on the 3/4 of an inch, those points, scoring, lining it up again. And I know this is kind of repetitive, but I think it's important to show you how simple it is and to actually do one all the way from start to finish for you to be able to see this. Okay, so I've got all my score lines in there. You can see that pattern. And I'm going to move my trimmer out of the way. And then what you're going to do is you're going to actually fold on every single one of those lines, okay? So I am folding it this way first. And then I'm going to fold it this way. You're thinking, oh my gosh, how's that going to ever lay flat? But trust me, it does, and it will. But I'm going to show you how awesome this is and how fun it is and how quick and simple you too can make this technique and have a big wow when you give it to someone. Okay, so I've now folded on all those lines, and I'm going to bring in my Elegant Eggplant ink pad and a sponge dauber. Okay, these sponge daubers are amazing. I absolutely love them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold this first one over, and I'm just going to sponge the end. Okay, now I'm going to the next one, and I'm going to sponge the end. So you can kind of see where I'm going, how I'm sponging all of those ends. And this would be fun to try with all different colors. You could do this with Melon Mambo. The main thing is whatever color your cardstock is, that's the color of ink that you want, because it's just going to go on. It applies the ink a little bit darker, and it just gives you an all-around nice little look to the card, to the mat. So, and I'm going to show you the first round here when I get done, and I'm trying to go through this semi-fast for you so that you're not stuck watching a long video. But there I have the first one done. And now what I'm going to do though, so you can kind of see what it looks like. But I also want to do the other side of this. So that kind of put ink on this side. So I'm going to turn it over, and I'm going to do the same thing on this side. I'm going to apply the ink to that side as well. Okay. So I'm just going to keep folding this down. And it actually goes pretty fast once you kind of get going. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go the opposite way as well. So lots of sponging. But again, I cannot wait to try this with different colors of cardstock to see how it's going to look. With, you could also try it with the the gold foil sheets, or you could try it with, oops, got a little bit too much ink there. But you get the gist of it. Again, I'm in a hurry for the sake of the video today so that you're not stuck watching all of it. And then I'm only going to do a couple on this one and then show you. And again, you could also do it at the same time if you wanted to. Just turn it over and do both sides at the same time. And I'm going to do that for a couple of these because I'm not going to take the time to go all the way down because I think you get the gist of it. But I want to show you what I added some dazzling detail to the points of this, and what that does to this card is just phenomenal. And that is where you can really experiment with the silver and the gold. So I'm going to quit right there for the purposes of doing this today. And I'm going to bring in the dazzling detail. This is what the dazzling detail looks like. This is the silver, so again, it also comes in gold. And what you're going to do then is you're going to apply to all of these little points, you're going to apply just a little bit of this dazzling detail. Let me make sure I can get it to come out. There we go. Didn't want it to come out too fast on my project. But you're just going to add a little bit of that to all of these little intersections, and also up here to where these end. Okay, you see that kind of where I'm adding it? Hoping my hand's not in the way. But you're just going to add this dazzling detail. Now this takes a little bit of time to dry, so I would do this in advance so that you don't have to sit there and wait for them all. I'm going to actually quit there because I have more inking to do. But what you can tell is by doing all of that, it'll give you this amazing technique. Isn't that absolutely stunning? And so this color scheme is just what I chose to use today. Another pretty one would be to do it in like the Melon Mambo and the yellow, or the Melon Mambo and the orange, or something like that. Then I used the pieces down here. This silver foil sheet piece is cut to 1 inch by 3 1/4. And the blue, the Night of Navy, is cut to 3/4 of an inch by 3. And I embossed with silver embossing powder. This sentiment, happy birthday to a very special person, comes from the Succulent Garden stamp set. But I wanted that to be a birthday card for my mother-in-law. And then I just layered the two, I mentioned to you and showed you the two dragonflies that I used. So I cut this one out with a foil sheet, that one with Night of Navy, and got this result. And I cut them out with the Big Shot, and then I just layered those together. I glued them together with the fine tip glue pen and used Stampin' Dimensionals to adhere those to my card, and that is how I finished it. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video today and enjoyed learning this fun, simple but fun technique. Again, it's called faux quilting. And I encourage you to give it a try, and I'd love to see it. Message me or send me a card that you maybe have done this technique on. I'd love to see your creations as well. So again, I encourage you to subscribe to my video, like me on Facebook, Kim Vogel's Basement Bunch Stampers, and also subscribe to my emails. Thank you so much, and have a great day.